Gap.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
I'm a J6er, and I spent 3 months in jail and about a year in prison.
I spent 4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been smeared and defamed by the media, persecuted by the government, and treated like terrorists.
In reality, J6ers are patriotic men and women, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers from all walks of life.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
And we need your help.
For just $10 or more, you're helping these patriots get mental, physical, and spiritual help.
Please scan the QR code or go to j6support.com to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Thank you for being a patriot. Thank you for standing in the gap.
Welcome back, everyone. I want to show you some pictures from across the country. These are vigils for Charlie Kirk. Really quite amazing to see. Everywhere you go, across America, these are happening. There are more happening tonight. I know there's one happening in Dallas as well, where I broadcast from. Charlie Kirk, as one of our guests, I think it was Colonel Manus, I'm not sure who it was, said Charlie Kirk was probably seen yesterday more than he ever had been seen in his life. And I believe that Charlie Kirk's legacy will live on through his social media posts, through Turning Point USA. They will find another leader. There's lots of talented people in that organization, and they will thrive and succeed. God bless all of you. I know it's been a rough few days. Thanks for trusting me with this one. Stinchfield's Army rolls. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Kenneth Marcus Caldwell.
This is Tom Crotty. We met his brother.
At the corner of 56 and Thompson Streets in West Philadelphia, one wall of Elsie Goss Caldwell's tax practice is a living memorial of some of the local lives lost on 9/11.
And it's Sean, and then Peter and Kenny went to William Penn Charter.
Kenny is Caldwell's son, Kenneth Marcus Caldwell, who was working on the 102nd floor of the North Tower. He never made it out.
And he had like a really warm heart.
Yes, he did. And I lived with him for 4 years. every time I say, it's not going to get to me this year, and every year it does. Yeah, we lived together for 4 years at Hofstra. We remained best friends after that until that day, obviously. 24 years ago. It's amazing. Yeah. He was the funniest person I knew, for sure. I called him Baldwell because he was bald. I never called him Caldwell. But I went to his mom's business there. He came to my house in Connecticut. I went to his house in Philadelphia many times, spent a lot of time. I mean, we lived together for 4 years. We lived together when we didn't really have to. When I was not a sophomore, junior, or senior, I could have moved into my own deal, but we were just having too much fun. Funniest person I knew, one of the most friendly, I've told this story every year. We used to leave the dorm room to go to, I don't know, it's probably 100 yards, 150 yards to go to the main campus on Hofstra University's campus to eat at the main cafeteria. And I swear I'm not exaggerating. It would take us sometimes an hour to go 100 yards because every single person stopped to talk to him. Every single person. It was, I don't know, our 4 years together at Hofstra, and after that were something like a movie. And I'll never forget that day. And as we always start on these 9/11 days, now I think this is our 10th doing this show, or my 10th. We always kind of remember where we were that morning. And obviously we had moved on. He had an apartment in Queens. I was on Long Island. And I knew he worked at the Trade Center. I didn't really know too much about his business. But I remember that morning, I got done teaching second period, which was music theory, on the second floor at a high school here on Long Island. And I remember walking down the stairs as I did every morning after second period, and I'd go right into my assistant principal's office, whose office was right at the bottom of the stairs, because we were very close. And she was a riot. And I used to just go down there, and we used to just talk about whatever. And that morning, I remember walking in, and she's saying, "Do you see what's going on?" I said, "No." And then I went down to my room, which was down the hall, and had a big TV in there. I was one of the only teachers that had TV because I was the music teacher. And I put it on and watched it the rest of the morning. And the only thing I can remember about it, not the only thing, but the only thing that really sticks with me for all of these years is picking up my phone and calling him over and over and over and over again. And yeah, obviously he never picked up. I think it took me till probably that evening to put it together that he was gone. I just kept holding out hope that he would have gotten out of there. But I think he was on the floor, 102nd floor. I don't think he had a chance to get out before the building came down. Live from Studio 6B. I want to bring the other guys in here, as I always do. Vinnie Max in our West Palm Beach studio. Rick Delgado's here. Slick is here. Obviously, we're going to do, it's a heavy week. 9/11 today, obviously 24 years. Obviously, still reeling from Charlie Kirk and what's happened today we'll get all caught up on that and some of what's going on. President Trump is at Yankee Stadium right now. We'll get caught up on that. But I always like to kind of let the guys talk about what they remember. 24 years, it seems like maybe, a year.
Yeah.
Slick, what do you remember about that morning?
Yeah, well, good segue. I was actually thinking of this morning, right? It was 24 years ago. I woke up and first thing in my mind was Charlie Kirk. Did that really happen, that nightmare? Yeah. Did I have a bad dream? I wish I did. Unfortunately, I know I did not. When I went outside, I had an early meeting this morning. I had to be out of the house, around 8 o'clock. And I went, it was eerily just like that day. The sky was blue. There wasn't a cloud in the sky this morning. The temperature, it was really unbelievable. And I said, my God, 24 years ago, this happened? Obviously, I didn't have something as connected as you did, but we did lose 4 guys in Holbrook. As you know, I'm very involved in Holbrook. I grew up there, been president of the chamber for 26 years. I was president of the chamber when this happened, actually. I never forget, we had a carnival planned for that Thursday. This happened on a Tuesday, 9/11. And we had to cancel that carnival. That was our first of many that we have to this day. And we lost 4 firefighters. One was a Holbrook volunteer firefighter who was also city fireman, and then three other firefighters as well. And of course, we had a big memorial for them, and we dedicated the streets and all. So I remember all that. Jerry Schrang was the one in particular that I knew. In fact, I still see his wife. Just saw her about 2 months ago. And they never recover from this, Big D. It's a void in people's lives. And I think, every death is that way of a family member, right? Losing your father, I lost my father, there's a void there. But these people, the void is even deeper. It's just incredible. So that's what I was thinking about this morning, and what my experience was. I'll never forget, I owned a pharmacy at the time. That was my first career there. And I remember a police officer coming in. He was an airport police officer. My pharmacy was only maybe quarter of a mile, half a mile from the airport border, town of Islip Airport, MacArthur Airport. And he was looking for batteries because they needed batteries for a backup transistor radio. I'm telling you, I feel like it was last year that guy asked me that question. I'll never forget it as long as I live. So, a day that's etched in everybody's memory. But us here on Long Island, and then folks that are in closer to the city, everybody was connected by something, somehow, through their community. So that was my memories today. Yeah. But boy, it was eerie this morning.
Vinnie Mac, what you haven't been on a show with us, and I don't think on 9/11. What are your memories?
Yeah, it's a struggle today, and I also had a good friend similar to your college roommate and friend. It's amazing, hearing you talk about your friend and just the great memory you have of his dynamic personality and smile and friendliness, and that's the beauty of memories, and remembering people like that who really touched you. So it was great to hear that.
I used to send him. I used to go on Hair Club for Men and fill out his name and get it sent to the room.
That is great.
What a friend.
I love it. I love your name for him. Yeah. What was it? Baldwell?
Kenny Baldwell instead of Caldwell. Yeah. He was bald. His hair was never coming back. So I tried to help him, but
oh man, it was just great. It's a great story because I can relate to that. I grew up in a town where most everybody that I went to high school with and for generations worked in Wall Street. It was Cantor Fitzgerald and a lot of that big firms. So we not only lost a few people, we lost generations of people that were in Cantor, and people just scarred for life. There's one fellow that I have a similar sort of relationship with, like you did with Baldwell, Don Spampanato. He was a bodybuilder. He was a good high school friend, always smiled, always laughed. He laughed at all my dumb stuff that I did. And believe me, I had a lot of dumb, weak jokes back then. And all I remember is his smile and laughing and just shaking his head. And I'm like, that's funny, huh? Okay, good. And he passed. And he's one of the guys that face hits me in the morning on 9/11 every year. But my most vivid sort of personal experience is I'm wheeling and dealing as I usually am in some business deal. I'm on a train. I lived in New Jersey at the time, heading to the World Trade Center at 8 o'clock in the morning or 7:30, or I forgot exactly what time, but they stopped the train just before we went into the tunnel to get into Manhattan. You got to go under the water into the tunnel. And we were all watching the TV, of course, aggravated that there's this delay. And what's this delay? And you see, fire in one of the World Trade Centers, and all of us got out of the train and watching the TV, and then boom, the next plane hit and we realized it's our Pearl Harbor. So it still brings tears to my eyes because the vigils I've been to with people, amazing. So sad.
All right, 13 past the hour. A lot of news to get you caught up on what we know. We'll get Delgado's thoughts on 9/11. 24 years. Amazing. Live from Studio 6B on a Thursday. We're back right after this.
Chat live in the chats.
Yeah, chats.
Chatting.
Jeffrey Koenig has an interesting take on today, and I kind of felt a little bit this way myself. I'm going to be honest, you all. The Charlie Kirk thing has hit me so hard that I could not even honor the 9/11 people today. Charlie Kirk was on his mind. Charlie Kirk was on my mind all day too. Right, Vane? We were saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially here, in the office, so many people coming through here that, had deep personal relationship with Charlie, and then our coverage. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch Eric Bowling's show today, but if you haven't, go and watch it. It was breathtaking. He probably said some of the most amazing things I've heard any commentator, any talking head, or anybody say. And they had a eyewitness right there, front row, talking about what happened, and his testimony is chilling. So yeah, it's been a full day here of honoring, cherishing, and reliving it.
Howdy in the Rumble chat. You got Too Naughty, Jethro TXK, Bill of Rights 1776, TJK, John D 6307, Never Slept 27, Spartacus 1, Too Naughty. They gotta have Too Naughty. Everybody loves the Too. Let's jump over to Twix. Twitter X, let's see what's going on there. Who dat? Elsie San Diego. Kit Kat, KC58, Racing Banshee. Jolene Moore, Commander Mike. Howdy. Don't forget,
Tracy Zapparato says what we all kind of feel, which is I woke up with a pit in my stomach.
Yeah.
Hoping what happened yesterday was a nightmare.
Yeah, me too.
Go from one day to the next. And what we started off from over the weekend, with the murder of that woman.
Oh,
it's coming at us every single day.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday, September 11th, 2025, 24 years removed from the attack on this country in 2001 that changed this country forever, changed a lot of people forever. It's been 24 years. Amazing to think it's been 24 years. And it's we've been talking about the week in its totality, from this girl in North Carolina to the unspeakable tragedy of Charlie Kirk, and then obviously remembering 9/11 today. And in some ways, when you think about 9/11, you had terrorists from outside the country who wanted to attack the country and kill as many people as they could to make them live in fear, stop living their life the way they wanted to, stopped saying what they wanted to say. And in a lot of respects, now we have terrorists inside the country who are attempting the same thing. Mm-hmm. And they did with Charlie Kirk. And they want the message to be the same as the message was back then. And think about this country and how it rallied after that. It'd be nice to see something similar happen now. And President Trump's at Yankee Stadium, and it shouldn't be lost on any of us that first game back after 9/11 was quite a moment for this country.
Yeah.
Baseball, sports, and the Yankees particularly, and the Mets, had a lot to do with getting this city back on its feet back then. So
we have that cut of George Bush throwing out that first pitch, Big D.
Yeah. Delgado, what are your memories of 9/11, 24 years ago?
My memories are a little bit different than you guys because I feel like you had personal touches within that. I didn't. I guess that's an advantage for me in a way, in that I didn't know anybody directly that passed away due to that. But it was, like I said, it was different because I was on a train, Vin. I was already almost into the city that morning, looking out the window, as I always do, taking the Long Island Railroad just before getting to the tunnel and looking out, over the gorgeous sunny day off to the left and seeing what I thought were clouds. And I was upset because I was like, clouds? It was supposed to be gorgeous today. What's clouds? Turns out that was the first plane that hit. Didn't know it at the time until we got into the tunnel and they started making an announcement about something going on at the World Trade Center. Getting off that train, reaching out to the people at 1010 Wins, because at the time I worked for, CBS Radio in New York City. One of our stations, 1010 Wins. I knew a lot of the guys. I knew the GM over there. We did a lot of work together back and forth while I was with the Opie and Anthony show on WNEW. And after they directed me to come straight to the station, it was about helping get something on the air for, on WNEW in New York City at the time. And when you think about the kind of show we did, it was not lent to serious times. We were not a serious show. It was all about having fun and being stupid. But I will always hat tip those guys, both Opie and Anthony, and everybody that worked with me. Ben, Garrett, also known as Stinky, and a bunch of the other guys who pulled it together, and we did something nobody thought we could do, and that was reached out and let everybody be heard. Kind of open up the phone lines.
Yeah.
And, kind of gave people a way to vent, talk, figure out a way to get through it. And even just thinking about it now, it's, like you said, 24 years later, and you still get all choked up thinking about it and how it affected you. And then walking home that night, because I didn't live in the city. I lived back on Long Island. There was no mass transit. Every restaurant was packed, but the streets were empty. No one was on the streets of Manhattan. I literally walked down the middle of Broadway and 7th Avenue, down the middle, straight to Penn Station, because there was no subways running. And just looking at everybody huddling in these restaurants, being around each other. And then finally, around 11:30, they announced that there were trains running back to Long Island. And I finally made it home that night. But, literally it was life-changing. And I'll also hat tip one John Caracciolo, who owns the station we're on right now, 103.9 LI News Radio, as he was one of the ones who helped get us that show together. He was working for a station called WLIR on Long Island at the time. They had a small station with a couple extra studios. I managed to get my guys over there while we coordinated in the city and were able to do a live show, through their studios. And I believe Sean Hannity was also in their studios as well, because he couldn't get to the city. So a hat tip to John and his people who made that happen. And, you talk about how stuff like that and how it kind of helps bring everybody together. You see everybody pulling together in the same direction, and that's a reminder of what we need today.
Yeah, we need today, but I have to tell you, what I've seen in the last 24 hours has been hard to make your brain wrap around the. And it's not phony Hollywood Rosie O'Donnell types. Doctors, teachers, administrators, people who work in hospitals, people who are supposed to be there to serve the public, who are in these positions of serving the public, serving your kids, social workers, psychologists. I've seen it all. With posts about Charlie Kirk that make you want to vomit. And it's not only that they make them, they've got hundreds of thousands of comments, likes, shares, hearts of the most vile responses to him getting assassinated that you can imagine. And it's nice to see some of them getting fired. A lot of them, quite frankly, today we've seen.
Yeah.
But the number of them that are out there, and again, I think it's because of the positions that they hold. These are not like 18, 19-year-old gangbangers in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
These are not 15-year-old teenagers who don't know their ass from their elbow. These are 20, 30-year-old adults in real positions, in real jobs. Administrators at colleges, teachers, professors at colleges, high schools, people who work, anesthesiologists who work in hospitals. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what if I showed up at your hospital? This is what you think?
Mm-hmm.
You're jumping up and down and cheering? And the amount of them is, maybe it shouldn't be to me, but it is. It's stunning.
It's astonishing. It's just not only all the people that you mentioned.
I've never seen what I've seen in the last 24 hours.
Me neither. I've never seen that. But I've also never seen a narrative where, the president of the United States and the movement, the president's called Hitler, and we're all Nazis as MAGA supporters. All these bad things. They have sort of created such anger, and that anger's turned into violence, and that anger's brainwashed some very smart people.
All right, 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More to do. Got some news, some thoughts. See what's going on at Yankee Stadium. Bring you up to date with what's going on with the search for this subhuman. When we get back.
First and third, fourth, with no outs. They're probably fired up, bro.
Judge hit a home run, I think, right out of the box there.
Wow.
President Trump's there. Told them he's good luck because every game he shows up to, the Yankees win.
Yeah, he homered to center.
Love that guy.
413-foot shot to center field, Vin. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
In the first inning.
Yeah. Oof. And they clapped in the clubhouse. They respected the president. They may not agree with him. I'm not saying they don't.
Aaron Boone was excited.
If they don't, they respected the office.
Yeah,
well, who wouldn't be excited to meet the president of the United States? Really, whomever it is. It's the president of the United States.
True. Judge Holman again. He had 2 homers tonight.
Wow.
In the 3rd inning, he hit another one, 434 feet. He's on fire.
They need him to get hot now.
Wow. They're going to want the president to show up every game.
That's right.
Good luck, Chom. Which is no surprise.
Hey, Damon, I'm going to send you a link. It's exactly what you were just talking about. I'm going to post it on X, and I'm going to tag you. And we can talk about this. It's from Mike Benz.
I remember seeing those isolated videos after 9/11 of certain types of people cheering. If you remember, we saw some of those videos out of Europe and some in the States, mostly radicalized folks. Just think that was appalling back then. Just this one star, amazing human being gets killed, and they're doing the same thing, but in, I would say, individually bigger numbers.
Not right after 9/11.
Well,
October 30th.
Live from Studio 6B, 30 minutes past the hour on a Thursday night, September 11th, 2025, 24 years removed from September 11th, 2001, when the world and certainly this country changed forever. And we'll have some more remembrances of September 11th, but let's get into a little bit of the news today.
Do you really want to?
Well,
all right.
It is the news of the day.
Yes, unfortunately, it is.
Couple things. So I guess this was this morning, about 10 hours ago. The police did a press conference, and we started to learn some more information. And I'm happen to pull this article from the Wall Street Journal. And they've been updating it throughout the day. But the headline back then, after the police gave their first update of the day, early bulletin said ammunition in Charlie Kirk shooting engraved with transgender anti-fascist ideology. An early bulletin circulated widely among law enforcement officials said investigators found ammunition engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology inside the rifle that authorities believed was used in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. But some officials later Thursday cautioned against reaching conclusions based on the internal report. So what we do know is they have the gun. Mm-hmm. There's been some pictures of that. I guess, what is it, 30 caliber, or it's a long, some kind of rifle, right?
Bolt-action rifle, yeah.
Bolt-action rifle. And I guess the reports are when the gun still obviously had bullets, I believe, in the chamber and in the mag. And that's where some of these reports are coming from. Now, they have not arrested anybody, but supposedly they're on the trail of someone.
Yeah, they released photos.
There's been some, they've released some photos, some pretty clear photos. Sunglasses, but still pretty clear photos. There has been some speculation that they have a name. I've seen a lot of stuff that says, hold on, they don't have a name. I've also seen reports that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are on a plane to Utah.
Yeah, that I heard as well.
John Solomon has also reported that. And at the end of John Solomon's show with Amanda, he also said he was getting reports that they may be closing in, but obviously we all have to be a little patient there. But it's hard for me to imagine Cash moving to that area if this was still a big throw your hands up in the air. If he wants to, it would seem to me that he would want to be there.
No, it seems like
for something this high profile, that he'd want to be there would be a reason he would be going, because they're about to collar this guy.
Right.
Now, what else have you heard?
I would be a little leery of jumping on the ideology inscribed bullets, because that's what we saw out of that kid in Minnesota. Yep. Seems a little all too convenient. I don't know, maybe that was part of the let's throw them off the trail kind of thing, or if it was, I'm not gonna. It almost seems like they want us to think a certain way. Let's wait. As Bongino always used to say, just wait. Give it 48 hours, 72 hours sometimes, and then you'll start to see the truth come out. So I think in this respect, and in me, I like to be over my skis, Damon. You know this. I'm going to adhere to that and just say, you know what? Let's just step back and let these guys do their job, because it seems a little too professional. I heard one expert talking about the range, the wind accountability, some of the other factors that come into making and taking and making a shot like this. Even though some people might go, oh well, 200 feet isn't that far, but whatever it was, whatever the distance was, using that type of rifle, being at a perched position.
I heard Dallas, what's his name? He's one of the top snipers in the world, said he could teach somebody to hit that shot in an afternoon if they had even the most basic idea of a weapon coming into the training.
Right. But again, we're led to believe that if it's some liberal wacko that, they probably don't train all that much, and this could be their first time using a weapon. That's from the, that's what we're conditioned to believe from the left, is that they're just crazy and that it's just, this seems too good.
Too calculated.
Yep. Has a plan of escape. Didn't go crazy like, oh, you go out swinging, go out shooting, death by cop kind of thing. So that's why I would just caution, let's take a step back, give it some time, and see what comes of that. But there's something you said in the last segment, Damon, kind of prompted something that I remember we talked about actually here on the show back in June from Mike Benz, when you said, seeing the reaction of some of these teachers, these lawyers, these doctors, this is not a mistake. You're seeing this because that's who's been trained to think this way. We talked about this. Mike Benz did a whole segment on this. It's part of CIA training, is to infiltrate these groups and have them be influencers in this way. I just posted that to my X account if you want to check it out for yourself. The first 2 minutes says it all about how they do this, how the CIA does this, how they infiltrate these groups, how they collectively can use this type of manipulation to create a riot. So just something to be mindful of.
Aaron, since this looks like it's just out, why don't we looks like the Utah, let me see what this says. Utah police release additional photos of the Charlie Kirk assassination suspect. You want to throw these up? So this is kind of similar to what we saw before, same shirt.
Is obviously. That the same shirt? That shirt?
Yeah, it says, yep, it's the same one as
the graphic looks a little different from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's not. It's the same one.
Okay, that one looks the same. Maybe
so they released those 4. There's also some video roaming around of supposedly this guy in the neighborhood around the school. Some of it before, you can take it down, Aaron, and some of it afterwards. And you can see the befores. He walks with a pretty significant limp. And the speculation is that he had he walking with the limp because he had this rifle tucked down the pants up the side, so he was kind of. And again, who knows? Like I'm with Delgado on all of this. Always just let's wait and see where the facts take us. But we do know for a fact that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are supposedly on, if not already, on their way to Utah. The other news of the day that I think is worth really focusing on, because it's been absolutely so beautiful to and I mean beautiful in one respect and obviously so gut-wrenching in the other, is the behavior of our vice president, and that's J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
And J.D. Vance flew on Air Force 2 to Utah to see the casket off and load it onto Air Force 2, which he's there right in the front.
I think he helped carry it. Yeah.
And walked it onto the plane.
Wow, look at that.
His wife as well. Went out there, held hands with Charlie's wife.
Well, that was once they got back to Arizona. I'll get to that in 1 second. But the vice president flew out there and walked and helped load the casket onto Air Force 2. What a beautiful gesture for the vice president to go out there and bring our brother home to where he belongs, to be there with the family. Here's Air Force 2 actually arriving in Arizona. Obviously not that long of a flight.
Yeah, JD was originally supposed to attend the 9/11 commemoration at Ground Zero this morning.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, opted instead to travel to Utah aboard Air Force 2 to be with Charlie Kirk's family and his friends, and of course escort the body home.
And here is
they were friends.
Yeah.
Wow, they sure were.
Sure. I mean, Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk were almost like, he called him his little brother, and obviously they pushed very hard for J.D. Vance to be the VP. Yeah. We remember going through all that. Here's the first real footage, though, of the casket getting taken off Air Force 2. Man, it's just unbelievable to even watch this and believe it's happening.
Yeah.
But you'll see that J.D. Vance, his wife, departs Air Force 2, as you'll see here in a little bit, with Charlie Kirk's wife in hand. Kind of the first time we've seen them.
Wasn't that long ago, right?
No, this just happened about an hour and a half, an hour or so ago. Yeah, so just beautiful, surreal, honestly, obviously, but beautiful gesture by our vice president, and the president today spoke on it.
Yeah.
So.
I love the idea that they were friends. I had dinner tonight with someone in the Trump administration, and they were telling me Charlie Kirk stories. And the thing that really struck me in the stories they were telling is a lot of people went to Charlie for advice, and a lot of people knew him well. Like, he was not someone that was a standoffish guy or wasn't, talking to a lot of folks and being friendly and becoming friends. He was much like you see him in all of his videos. Just a very engaging guy, curious, wants to speak with you. But I was really struck by the level of sort of friendship that he made with many people, not just a few in there. Of course, Don Jr. and JD rise to the top there because they were friends with him for a long time. There was talk of him having a serious run for the presidency at some point. Like, he was someone that folks felt they could build around down the road as president. I mean, he was highly thought of within not just the administration, but all throughout the Republicans in Washington, and a friend, not just a senator, a colleague.
I mean, it was the most logical next step in the next 10 years, you would think, maybe 10, 15 years. He's only 31. We got to be in this early 40s, 45.
Yeah.
He would have built he'd already built such a huge movement, but a huge connection with the younger voters of this country. Imagine another 10 years of this, another 12, 15 years of this, and then run. I mean, it would be what was left for somebody like him.
Right.
Exactly right.
So tough, man. Tough shows to do. All right, 17 till the hour. We'll do some more when we get back right after this.
Okay, so.
Hey, Aaron, can you give me some sound? I want to watch this while we're not on the network, just because I don't know what this guy says, but I am interested because there's been a lot of consternation about wearing a vest. Couldn't have come off the vest. A lot of people say it's impossible. Let me just see what this guy says. No sound. All right, kill it. Why that thing has to reset every night? It's crazy. All right, let's try it now.
Tool ammo, 223. I'm just gonna do one shot. A little extra on that. That was our impact. And this is a brand new piece of film, so that one shot did that to your chin. So that's cool. Here's the bullet, actually. What's left of it. So that's great. There's some more of it. Tool ammo.
Okay, I'm not really sure what this guy wrote, yes, Charlie Kirk was wearing a bulletproof vest. The bullet ricocheted off the steel plate, causing spalling and hit his carotid artery. Spalling refers to incidents where parts of the bullet flake off the projectile upon impact with the target. So, who knows?
John Solomon mentioned that as well, that he thought it might have hit the vest. He had heard it hit the vest and then went up.
Yeah, I've just gotten stuff all day from people saying that's impossible. So, I don't know. I saw that and I just wanted to see what he said.
Yep.
I hadn't watched it yet. Raj says if he was wearing a vest, it was probably a level 2 or 3, which is all Kevlar. He may have had a ceramic plate, but a 30-06 would go through that. So what are you saying? Are you saying it's impossible as well, that it could have ricocheted up and that's what hit him, or you think it was just a clean shot into the neck?
Sounds like he's thinking it was a clean shot.
Certainly looked like that to me.
Yeah.
I think if there was a clean shot into the neck, it would have come out behind him. Live from Studio 6B, 13 till the hour. On September 11th, 24 years removed from the attack on this country, September 11th, 2001. Charlie Kirk's casket has arrived in Arizona. J.D. Vance on Air Force Two went to Utah to load the casket onto Air Force Two. Then he flew with the family back to Arizona, where they have now arrived, and there are thousands of patriots that have lined the streets for the motorcade for Charlie Kirk in Arizona right now. There's not a ton of footage of it yet, but if we get any, we'll bring it to you. as far as what's going on with trying to find this subhuman scum. FBI Director Kash Patel, our understanding, listening to John Solomon, is that he is on his way, if not already arrived, I believe with Dan Bongino as well, to Utah. And I mean, it's hard for me to imagine they're going out there just to get an update. It would seem like if they're going out there because stuff's going down or they're getting close.
Well, according to something I think Slick saw, they've got a press conference scheduled with Kash Patel at approximately 9:30.
Okay, so if that happens, we will absolutely be on every second of that. We'll find it somewhere, and we will bring it to you. FBI, actually, Nick Sorter, just right here in front of me now, FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Bongino are officially on the ground in Utah at the scene of Charlie Kirk's killing. An FBI press conference is now scheduled to happen within 1 hour. It's about to get real, he says. Well, we don't know that. All right, that's what we know. So let's not that we're not light in the mood, but there is some other stuff going on, and President Trump has decided to go slick to Yankee Stadium tonight. So? Give me a little update and show me some of what's happened there so far.
President Trump in the Bronx. President Donald Trump attends New York Yankees game on 9/11. James Williams of USA Today reporting. President Donald Trump was in attendance for the New York Yankees game against the Detroit Tigers on Thursday, September 11th. The Yankees held a pregame ceremony Thursday to recognize the victims and heroes of 9/11 on the 24th anniversary of the terrorist attacks, where nearly 3,000 people died as a result of the attacks that happened on that day in 2001. We do have some cuts here. I believe, is it cut 7, Aaron, where we have the president in the clubhouse with the guys? This is right before the game, maybe about 7:15 or so.
You're going to win. I'll tell you what, George Steinbrenner was a great friend of mine. The whole family. It's a great family, and Randy is wonderful, and I will say you're going to win. George used to coach. For some reason, I don't know what it was, we won every time I came. Randy, is that right? Every time we came, we'd win a game, and he'd call me. He was, you think that was easy sitting with him for a game? It wasn't. It was brutal. You were exhausted at the end, but he won, and you're going to win. You're going to go all the way. And you'll get in the playoff, and I think you're going to do. I think we'll start off. How about tonight? We'll start from tonight on, and you're going to do well. Randy was telling me the Boston Red Sox came to the Oval Office. They wanted to come. So I said, what am I going to do? Say no? So, and they won 15 games in a row. So that was bad news. Bad news. We're changing the luck here right now, Mr. We're going to change it right now. So I just want to wish you guys a lot of luck. You're great players. I know every one of you. Let me shake hands around here. Come on. Shake their hands. Shake their hands. Thanks.
Of course, he leadership. Aaron Judge, who, by the way, the Yankees are taking care of business. They're up 9-1 right now in the 5th inning.
Told you.
And Aaron Judge, right there, hit 2 homers. 2 home runs. Oh, Aaron Judge coming up.
Judge is coming up. You'll know when he gets to him because he's about 9 feet tall. Yeah. He makes me look small.
And, he's had 2 homers tonight already. Yankees are an absolute fire. Absolute fire. So, looking good there. And we'll get to the next cut in a second.
Yeah, nice reception for the president.
Oh, beautiful.
And he's shaking hands with everybody.
Everybody.
Wait till you see the reception inside Yankee Stadium. Yankee fans are no fools.
No. Most of these Yankee fans are real patriots, too.
Yes, that's true.
Look at Delgado.
There's
Judge. Yeah.
Look at the size of it.
A football player.
That's the conversation.
You have that much muscle, you have to hit the ball. Fantastic.
When you have that much muscle, you have to hit the ball.
Great to know you.
Wow. Amazing.
So,
Trump was a baseball player.
Huh?
Trump was a baseball player, in college or high school.
West
or
Point,
something.
right? Did he play? I think he played ball in West Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think cut 7, we have him in his seats at the Yankee Stadium, Aaron, right? There he is. Boy, God, we hope the security is phenomenal. Big D says it's probably the safest place in the country right now.
That's the safest place in the world to be tonight.
Where the Bronx normally is not. We know that. Outside, anyway. Look at that.
You get the stadium chanting USA.
I don't know if you have this one, Aaron, but this was the this was the national anthem, and by the way, the NYPD officers that sing the national anthem are always great.
Can you see by the dawn's early night?
Little Johnny Mathis type of style.
So
Very nice.
proudly we read at the twilight's last gleaming.
They love him. Look at that.
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
nice
there.
reception for the president.
Yeah.
I believe that was
he's a
from
leader.
the fire department, too.
Oh, which, yeah, it was. Yeah. I think they alternate.
And if you'd like to roll back 24 years, Big D, we have cut 6 where George Bush was out there throwing the first pitch, Game 3 of the World Series.
Well, actually, before we get to that, let me give you one more Trump one because I think they did an official announcement over the loudspeaker.
The New York Yankees welcome back to Yankee Stadium the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, on the solemn anniversary of September 11, 2001.
PC Richard with a quick plug.
They really do that.
There you go.
What'd they pay for that? Good Lord.
Oh,
man.
Oh, geez.
Oh, PC Richard, God bless you.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I want to
this
set
was
that up. So it was
an iconic moment.
Oh.
The story behind it is iconic when he went down into the tunnel with Jeter.
Yeah.
And, of course, Jeter told him,
another Yankee legend.
Don't bounce it. He said, what do you mean? He said, don't bounce it because they'll boo you. He said, don't bounce this pitch in front of the mound. He said, are you going to throw from? So the story is Jeter went to the president and said, are you going to throw from the rubber or from in front of the mounds, make it a little shorter? And he said, well, I'm going to throw from the rubber. And he said, that's a good idea. He said, but don't bounce it. He says, what do you mean? He says, no, don't bounce it. He goes, because I know you're the president, but they'll boo the hell out of you. And boy, he fired a strike. You have that, Aaron?
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
Old Yankee Stadium, right, Rick? Yep. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the best first pitch I've ever seen a non-athlete
fired in a little movement on that ball, too.
Yeah.
Not only that, remember, he
practiced.
He had a full vest.
Yeah. That's right.
Bulletproof
He did
vest.
Right.
Underneath that jacket.
Yes,
and,
he did.
Tori's asking him, you want to sign the contract? That was Game 3 of the World Series. So that was October 30th, which we were talking. Rick reminded me it was about 3 weeks before anybody was playing any ball there. So it took Game 3, which was the first home game for the Yankees in that World Series, which they did unfortunately lose that series to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
All right, wrap on hour 1, hour 2, live from Studio 6B right after this.
Chat live in the chat.
Son's about the same age.
And say what you want about George W. Bush, especially what we know these days. But at that time, that was huge, not only for the country, but for the city of New York. That moment.
That bullhorn moment. Remember that bullhorn moment, where I can hear you, and the people who did this are going to hear from all of us. I mean, chills. You have that video?
I could probably find it. I don't know if we have it, but yeah.
That's one of the most inspirational moments I remember from really any president in my lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, this says this is live. Can we put this up?
It did well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out for the public's help.
Yeah, this is not live. I know they're.
Photos.
This is from this morning. I don't know. Their thing says 5:57. It says 8:57, which is the time right now. But this is definitely not live.
Live Now sometimes reruns their stuff.
Okay. All right. I don't see anything set up yet for. Here we go. Just as I say that, AP has it set. So the pool feed looks like it's set up. I don't know what's wrong with the internet here today.
9:30, right?
Okay, we have a live feed.
They have a schedule yet on the Charlie Kirk ceremonies and stuff? What they're going to do? Did they get to that yet? No, right? Too early.
President Trump did say he's hearing it's next weekend.
Oh, wait, is it? We're going to give a week there? Okay.
I heard him say that today.
Well, hopefully they catch this guy and have some closure on that end, too. People feel a little bit better about that, to say the least.
Chat live in the chat.
Somebody in the chat agreed with me. They said, good call on the Johnny Mathis. Pretty close. Like that officer. He had that Johnny Mathis tone.
Very good.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a woman.
Chances are.
Hour 2, live from Studio 6B, live shot from the Freedom Tower, New York City, on a Thursday night, September 11th, 2025. 24 years removed from 9/11, the day that the world changed, this country changed, a lot of our lives changed. We talked a little bit in hour 1 about how all of our kind of personal remembrances of that day. So it's been a boy. I don't know. And we've done this show. Me and Vin started this in 2015. I don't know that I can remember a heavier week of news that really has changed. I don't know. I feel fine. Not that I don't feel good, but I'm just affected in a way. And I said this yesterday, and it's just so strange because I met Charlie Kirk barely one time. Didn't know him at all. Like guys on this network have known him so well. But, and I don't know if it's just because you can't get every single post is about him, but I don't know. Vin, I don't know if I'm sure you've experienced too being there, but just this one's just something's just different.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say two things on that subject. Number one, how proud I am to be associated with this network. The owner of the network is as emotionally affected by what has happened here as anybody on the planet involved in knowing Charlie or not knowing Charlie. He is just strongly emotionally connected to it, as are many people here. So seeing that makes me feel proud to be associated with people that care that much about faith, about a person, and about the mission. But the thing about Charlie that I find most striking with people who don't know him, people who've just seen his videos, people have seen him on TV or seen him in interviews and so on, is, and I think I speak for most people out there who might be watching our show right now, we all feel like we know him. We all feel like we know him because he was that kind of guy in how he talked and how he presented. You just felt like, I'm not watching some TV anchor, some TV star, some guy. I'm watching a guy I know talking about something he feels strongly about, and I happen to agree with him. And I think people just connected so much with him personally that they feel and they felt they know him, and that's why we're getting such a strong reaction. I see messages all day. I'm getting messaged constantly from folks watching our show, and I'm looking at the stream now. People crying over someone they really don't know, but they know through media, and that's how intimate the relationship was with Charlie and just the audience in general. So I think that's part of the answer there, Damon, as to how people are reacting.
And I want to thank people, speaking of people reacting to our opening segment. I'm getting a lot of messages about our opening segments and a lot about my relationship with what started out as college roommate, ended as best friend. And so I want to thank you for that. But please don't call him Caldwell. Call him Baldwell. So,
out of respect, please, Baldwell.
Yeah. 3 minutes past the hour. Hour 2. What's the? So we have a live feed up of what we believe will be the FBI update. Supposedly, here's who's going to be involved with it, just so you know, and this is all happening in real time. So we believe this will be a press conference around 9:30 p.m., and it will be FBI Director Kash Patel, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason. So that's who we believe we're going to get at 9:30. So we do have a live feed up of what we believe will be the room. That they're setting up a TV right now, putting the podium in place. So we have it. We'll put it up when there's something to see, if it starts on time. President Trump is at the Yankee game. Mm-hmm. He's brought him good luck once again, as they are right now. What's the update, Slick?
Oh, it was 9-1 last look in the fifth inning, and I believe
9-1 bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, 9-1.
2 outs. So about to go to the sixth. So good game, Yankees. President Trump, he says they win every time he goes. So
I bet he does.
They may need to get him a seat if they make the playoffs.
I think the Mets may need to ask him to drop by. They're losing again tonight.
They're losing again tonight.
Can you stop at Citi Field, Mr. President?
Frank the Tank is going to be, oh my God, he's already lost it. He's going to have a full-out meltdown here pretty soon. Well, he does every night, but
I was going to say, doesn't he every night?
Yeah, every night. It's off the chain.
Something else from earlier today, of course, being September 11th, President Donald Trump spoke at the Pentagon earlier today to give his condolences and telling the stories of those who died on the attacks of September 11th in 2001. In his speech, Trump mentioned that the Pentagon was built 84 years ago, and on September 11, 2001, those same walls built with the sweat and muscle blood of our parents and grandparents were scarred by flame and shaken by terror as our country came face to face with pure evil. On that fateful day, savage monsters attacked the very symbols of our civilization. So he mentioned that this morning. Of course, celebrations in New York City. J.D. Vance was supposed to be on hand, changed his plans last minute for the ushering, or I should say, accompanying of Charlie Kirk's body back home.
Which you could throw this up, Aaron. If this is I believe if not exactly live, very, very not too long ago. Charlie Kirk's body has arrived. The casket has arrived at his church,
at
where he
there.
attended mass every Sunday, and they're moving it inside the church. So that's happening now as well. There is other news today. We had a lockdown at the Marine
U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis.
What's the update on that, Delgado?
In Maryland, as far as
Annapolis,
and this was from I want to say about 7 p.m. I haven't checked for any updates. U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis locked down after an active shooter threats. Gunshots were heard inside. Supposedly there are some injuries, some casualties. Still don't have full picture, at least from what I'm seeing here on some of the news sites that I'm using. But it said the U.S. Naval Academy on lockdown after a midshipman who had been kicked out of the school returned to campus armed with a weapon, according to multiple services at the U.S. Naval Academy. Don't let the situation and the date go unnoticed. Gunshots were heard inside Bancroft Hall, which houses the midshipman. One victim was verified to be transferred via medical helicopter. Multiple other victims were being assessed at that time. However, according to an internal email from Captain David Foreman, Deputy Commandant of Midshipmen, a midshipman mistook authorized law enforcement as a threat, engaged, and was injured in the process. The email said the midshipman is stable and receiving medical attention. The shooter is knocking on doors, pretending to be military police.
I heard that.
So scary situation. And again, don't let what is going on there. Don't get lost in the fact that today is September 11th as well. This is when you see these kinds of things happen. These lunatics look for opportunities on certain days to do things like this. Unfortunately.
I'd also like to mention, because we always mention all the bad things, so we should mention at least the good. And the NFL tonight, before their game, actually held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk on the national broadcast, which I'm just seeing now. So I guess good for them.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yep.
And I saw Tucker on with Megyn Kelly. Man, Megyn Kelly is so good. Her show is so good, what she's building there. She had Tucker on, and Tucker started a Give, Send, Go. He put $1 million in it himself, and it's out there now. I think it's probably close to $2 million, I think, now. I'd be shocked if it's anything less than 5 or 10 by the time it all gets done. So I know that he started that, and I think there's other ones as well going on. What else is on your mind, Vin? Anything else in the news or anything else that's caught your attention? I mean, it's hard outside of these three things this week, but anything else?
Yeah, just more reflection, as far as there's lots of stuff in the news. There's lots of bad things of, people celebrating his death and so on. But I've been reflecting on just moments in history, particularly in our country. World War II, the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, that created what we've all referred to as the greatest generation. People enlisted, people wanted to fight that war. They wanted to take Hitler out, so on and so forth. It was a monumental moment in history and the greatest generation. When 9/11 happened, I mean, how many people, I know several, and I'm sure you guys do as well, that enlisted, that wound up going to Iraq and Afghanistan and so on, and fighting the fight because of what happened in 9/11. It created another generation of great Americans. And I feel like that's what we need to embrace here now with Charlie's passing. It's such an appropriate name, turning point in his whole cause. But we need to now react as those people did, not in a warfare, not in a violent way, but in continuing to push strongly forward to getting our country back on solid ground, as we are starting to see. That's what Charlie was all about: faith and the truth, and all of these things that we believe in as MAGA. He was all about those things, and I do want and hope that the result of his death inspires people on a positive way to be constructive, to help our country just to get better and get away from this progressive left-wing, anti-God, anti-faith sensibility that the progressives and the left have brought in there. And that's all I've really been thinking about, Damon. And I've seen a lot of news, and I've seen a lot of things I'm not happy about, and people talking about things. I've seen a lot of passion, a lot of tears. But at the end of the day, I land right there. I'm like, let's make this a turning point for our country and our people. It's no longer we support MAGA. It's no longer we want to fix this country. It's like now we each need to take a more active role in all of this. We need to be more purposeful. Many have, and I think many more now need to. Let's take Charlie's death and what he stood for and create energy around that to improve our country, in particular, bringing God back into our country, into our lives, and into our politics even, because it's only goodness with that, and that's what Charlie was about. So that's what's been on my mind. There are lots of other things that I can refer to here, but when I think about the enormity of what we've all just gone through with Charlie's assassination, There has to be as strong an emotion on a positive level, taking us forward into a productive way to fix these things. And to me, it's as important as the guys who went storming out to go to war at World War II, the greatest generation. We have a chance to be the greatest generation. Now, the people following Charlie, those young people, they have a chance to be the greatest generation right now.
All right, well said. Live from Studio 6B, 13 past the hour. The great Larry Arnn from Hillsdale College put out a statement tonight. I want to play it for you when we get back. Plus, we'll get to some other things. We'll get ready for what we think is going to be a 9:30 presser with Kash Patel. Get an update on where we are. Live from Studio 6B. More after this.
Jared Goff Big D to open that up. It said error not found. I tried it. I even went in and came out of your link and went into it regular, and that's all I see. It's the only story out of that Michigan, that local paper, and then it says error not found.
Go do it, sir.
I did. That's what came up. Just that one story. That's all that came up. Jared Goff.
Yeah, I'm getting the same error.
Yeah.
What was the story about?
He's apparently giving $300,000+ to Charlie Kirk's family. That's the report.
Yeah, I don't know.
Significant.
Let me see.
Donation.
Maybe it's fake.
Lead stories, fact checks.
Jared Goff.
I mean, I opened the link.
Yeah, I went to it and then I came out and I went to it on my own, and still all I could find was that one story. It's on Facebook too. He's got a Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, you know, I did a search for him. I see other stuff, but I don't see that. I think it was actually fake.
Okay.
It was fake, yeah.
I'll leave it be.
That's
what it looks like.
That's sick as right out of Michigan.
That's weird, though. When I clicked on the link from Twitter, it actually took me to his story. But now that I click back on it, the story's gone.
Not found. Debunked.
Huh.
Yeah, it says claims originated on a series of articles of fake websites, including this article, archived here, published on PJ.io, September 11th, under the title, Eagles QB Jalen Hurts honors Charlie Kirk with $300,000 donation.
Now it's Jalen Hurts. Before it was Jared Goff.
They're using a bunch of different.
Yeah, they're
using
just
a bunch.
Sick.
Yep, and that was fake too.
Right. And any one of them could do that.
Well, I know that Tucker's is real because I saw it.
What did Tucker do?
He did a give, send, go.
Green Bay up 14-0, Aaron. Yeah, I knew they were the pick tonight.
What happened?
Green Bay's up 14-0 over Washington.
Oh, yeah?
Green Bay's going to be a good team this year. Jordan Love and Micah Parsons.
They were a good team last year.
Absolutely.
They just ran into two buzzsaws.
Yeah. They sure handled Detroit last Sunday, and they're doing that well. Washington's a decent team, too.
They had to deal with...
Past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night, September 11th, 2025. Glad you're in. Slick Sierra is doing just a touch of sports tonight because the president's obviously at Yankee Stadium. Yankees are up 9-1, playing well in front of the president of the United States. We've got a great reception at Yankee Stadium on this remembrance, 24 years removed from September 11th, 2001. So the president's still there. We're waiting for a press conference, do we believe, from FBI Director Kash Patel and the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, who, by the way, was quite fantastic. I mean, I don't know as much about him as I know about other governors, but in the update they gave the other day, he was pretty good, very good, as a matter of fact, very strong. Which is what we need here, because we need justice to be swift and we need it to be ferocious.
Exactly.
So it's good to see the governor seemingly will be in line with the president and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. Larry Arnn is the president of Hillsdale College, a great university, a great bastion for individual liberty, freedom, the Constitution. He put out a statement tonight that I want to play for you on Charlie Kirk. Here it is.
I want to express the condolences of my wife and me and of all of Hillsdale College to the family, Erica, and the children of Charlie Kirk. Charlie was a friend of mine. The way he became a friend tells something not so much about what he achieved, which is famous, but how he achieved it and how he deserved to achieve it. I met Charlie when he was 19. He was already becoming famous. So I asked him what he did, and he said he did Turning Point, and I said, what is that? And he said he's going to improve the culture on college campuses. He had this curious mind. He wanted to improve it. He wanted to grow. He had the humility to know that it was important to know and that he didn't. And he had the confidence and assertion to seek to know. And what did he want to know? He wanted to know all the basic things on this earth, and he wanted to know how they reach up to heaven, where he must be now. He was a believer in the Almighty God and a faithful servant of him. It's been no surprise to me then that Charlie would build a massive organization reaching millions of people. No surprise to me that the 800 or so people who work for him loved to do that, found him an excellent boss. No surprise to me that he would go on college campuses on the day he was shot and address all and sundry under the topic, "Prove me wrong." No surprise to me that he would be incisive and effective in those arguments. No surprise to me that he was never demeaning of anybody, and he never lost his temper. He was a reasonable man. He was a serious man. You get to be that by making yourself that. The wicked man who shot him has to be the worst kind of person, because likely it will prove that he shot him because of his virtues. I'm privileged to know lots and lots of high-minded, intelligent, and serious young people. Charlie is one of the best I ever saw. It's an honor to have known him. The benefits he brought our country will continue. In some ways they will grow because of his martyrdom. I want Erica to know that we will help her with those children in any way it is in the power of a college to help, and that is some significant way. And I want everybody to stop and pause and think about the good of Charlie Kirk and pray for his family. Thank you.
The great Larry Arnn from Hillsdale. And well said, Vin, huh?
Magnificent. Magnificent. He said, couldn't say it better.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And Hillsdale's we never made it there in our college search, although I wanted to. But just a little too far away. But, in a place where you wouldn't think, obviously in Michigan, in the location of where Hillsdale is this little bastion of freedom. And Larry Arnn makes sure that it stays that way. And those kids who go there come out, well, the way we want all of our kids to come out of college. And unfortunately, that may be the only place, maybe a few others, Liberty University, I believe. Loving this country, understanding this country, understanding the good and the bad of this country, because there is both, of course. But they understand our Constitution. They understand that we're a country of citizens. Yes, we're a country of immigrants, but we're a country of citizens first. and they understand what the founders of this country set out to achieve, and why we're not a democracy, a pure democracy like a lot of the left would like. We're a constitutional republic, and why it is that we're a constitutional republic, and what it means to have representative government, and what it means to have private property rights, and what it means to believe in following natural law, and what it means to believe in upward mobility, and why it is we have that, and why capitalism is the greatest force for good ever.
Yeah, and Damon, you weren't there that night. Back on the 4th of August, we had one of Hillsdale's finest in our live audience at the America First Warehouse. Her name was Emma.
Right.
She came up to talk with Kevin Downey Jr., and she was, it was almost like
firecracker.
Yeah, she was a firecracker.
Unbelievable.
She was spirited.
Yeah.
She had great things
Bless
to
her.
say, and she, kind of encompassed that type of thinking of, being proud of yourself, being proud of what you believe, moving forward, being positive. She encompassed all that night and shared it with us, at the America First Warehouse and with the live audience, as well. It was a great showing. She was
with
great.
her dad,
and her
right?
dad comes. I think her dad has been back a couple times since.
Yeah, saw him a couple of Friday nights ago.
Yeah, because she went back to school, but local kid, local family, and her dad was back. I think last weekend.
I think one of our teachers came too, if I'm not mistaken, with the dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they put out some.
She was amazing.
Yeah, they put out some good quality kids out there, and she was one of them, definitely.
You could tell.
She survived Kevin too, which is interesting. She did pretty well with him.
doubt.
That's always a slippery slope
She
to
was
navigate.
steaming clams out there doing something.
What was amazing is he couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, she brought it.
She was fire.
She brought
Yeah,
it.
she was great.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
A young woman of conviction. And this is the kind of stuff she wants to look forward to doing in the future as well. So you know what? We'll probably see her again at some point.
Yep, that's for sure.
Let's go into the chat, see what's going on. Sherry Merrill says, yes, she did great. If you're watching on any of our socials, I appreciate it. You know what I was thinking, knowing that these shows are hard to do 2 hours when there's really nothing else. It's not that there's nothing else to talk about, but you just don't feel like it's just not appropriate.
Right.
Right.
I was thinking all day, you know what I would have loved to have done tonight is just to open up the phone lines and talk to the audience. That's really what I wanted to do.
I like that.
Well,
that's really what I wanted to do, but we just unfortunately right now don't have a way to do it.
Yeah. And Damon, it's funny you say that, because that's how I described what happened to us on September 11th back in 2001 with the O&A show. That's exactly how we had to deal with it. And it, people look for outlets, and, even I think just us talking gives them the opportunity to feel like they're included and part of this conversation that we're having, even though we're not covering, other specific news and stuff like that. Sometimes just hearing people talk about the things that are important to them helps them in their healing as well. So,
all right, 26 past the hour. We'll see what else is on Vinnie Mac's mind. Slick will give us an update on the game, see what other headlines Delgado has, and then we'll get ready for what we believe is going to be a 9:30 update. Although looking at the live feed, it looks like they're having they need Harry on the highway there. They can't get the TV to work.
Oh, no.
It sounds like he's there.
So he might actually be there in disguise.
He did leave earlier. Yeah, he might have. YouTube chat, Big D, we got a super chat. USMC Loco, $19.99. Well said, Vinny. The next generation is TP USA.
Why don't you throw this up, Aaron, in the middle, just so we have it up, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. These three have been staring at this TV for I don't know how long. They can't seem to get it to work. But
Up on the
VCR
Rumble
blinking
rant,
at 12.
Jethro TXK says, Damon, Delgado, Slick, and Vinny, all of you have done a great job last 2 days under the pressure, and you all did a great job. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
For the Rumble rant.
It's not even that it's been pressure. It's just been, it's just, I don't know. Usually we've got a plethora of things to do and talk about in subject matter and sports, and
it's all secondary at this point.
It's hard to do anything other than try to focus on this.
We feel what everyone feels out there too, and to do a show when you feel that way, it's not easy to do that, but it also allows us to express a lot of things that a lot of other people are thinking, and just help people heal. So I'm happy if we could play any part in that.
Hey, we haven't mentioned this about the event for tomorrow being canceled, right?
I think that was a statement.
Because 6B control room just put out a statement on it. Well, so
there was a statement sent out, I think,
was?
by
Okay.
what was it? America's Voice, right?
It was
Real America's Voice. Yeah. Unfortunately,
I just saw something posted.
Yeah, it was announced earlier today, and the statement is up on the America First Warehouse event page.
Yeah,
there are people still asking about it, so I've just been answering them on social, just saying.
Some
hey, it's
folks were
canceled.
traveling
Never
too,
seen.
unfortunately, but
Yeah.
Red Wing 471, Hillsdale College, where Lions rookie Tesla went initially. Yeah, he's a hell of a wide receiver, that kid. That Tesla kid on Detroit had a big game on us, even though they didn't do good. He still had a good game on Sunday.
This guy's not, I know this hasn't started yet. What is this guy doing? Just testing the mic, or what is this?
He's plugging the TV in.
I can't get the game.
He actually is mic testing.
Okay.
He's like, I got money on this game.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night, September 11th, 2025. 24 years removed from a day that changed us forever in this country, New York City. We were trying to effort getting Rudy Giuliani on tonight, but the mayor obviously had some previous things he had to go to in the city. We were going to try to speak to Rudy. Rudy was on the show, obviously, a couple years ago. I think it was 2022 or so, when the Hunter Biden laptop hard drive broke. He was on. We're talking about Joe and Hunter. But I would have loved to have spoken to them. David Zier spoke to him earlier on the special that Rav had on earlier in the day. But, yeah, it's amazing, 24 years. It just doesn't seem like 24 years.
Nope.
Never goes away, the feelings of that day and the loss for everybody, and the loss comes in different ways for everybody. But as I said before, and I think it's probably worth mentioning again, especially given what we're dealing with this week is, here you had an outside attack on the country from people who wanted to silence us, from people who wanted to get us out of our way of life, get us out of thinking that we were always safe, get us out of thinking that it can't happen to you, get us out of thinking that, this is America, this is the home of the free, this is the financial capital of the world, the Statue of Liberty, all of the things. And they thought they could strike us at the heart of New York City and of the United States at the time. And think about Charlie Kirk in a way similar.
Yeah,
people on the inside now of the country.
Very similar.
Political terrorism, trying to tell us that no, you're going to be quiet. And Words to them, words are violence because they can't win on the field of ideas. I feel a lot of those same sentiments. They're trying to tell us you can just shut up and go in the corner. That's your choice. That's choice one. And choice two is to follow choice one. That's what the left thinks. There is no other choice.
Right. And that's that mentality, that globalist way of thinking that will tell you what you can do, where you can go, what you can like, what you can dislike, and what you can say and what you can't say. And it's all about control, right? Like you said, they want to try to control. It came from the outside the first time, and now they're trying it from the inside. And they think they silenced the voice of Charlie Kirk yesterday. What they really did was they amplified everybody else, because everybody else, from us here on this show and every conservative commentator out there, I feel like this is now, you know what? We need to be even louder to make sure that his voice doesn't go silent, because there was a lot that he was doing that was disturbing a lot of people. And you know what? Now it's time for us to pick up that mantle and keep pushing that forward.
I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but there's a bunch of great stuff in the American Thinker today. But one of the articles is entitled "Charlie Kirk's Death and America Regaining Its Footing on the Righteous Path" by Vince Coyner. And after he talks about Charlie, he gets to addressing the left. And I read you yesterday Eric Erickson's piece on, not piece, but his tweet on, don't fall for the whole, like, this is a both sides thing.
Right.
And he says in this article, he says, for the left, because Charlie was such a successful shepherd of a young man, and he had young men and women who listened to him, he had to be eliminated. Whether it's rioting and burning down cities across the country, using mob tactics to intimidate speakers and politicians, or literally killing their opponents, the left in America has lost its battle for the mind of the American man and woman. In the world of ideas, the left has lost the debate and has nothing left to offer but violence. And the killing of Charlie Kirk is the ultimate example of exactly that. And I think that's exactly to the point.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to see what Clay Travis had to say today?
I did not.
I've got that here if you want to go to it. It's cut number 1. It's about 2 minutes long, but man, it flies by because he makes such great points. And again, it's about the rhetoric that the left uses. And, we've got to be open to saying, it really isn't on both sides, guys. It really isn't on both sides. It's really coming from the left. Here's cut 1. Clay Travis.
I am tired of hearing people say, like Barack Obama did, like Hillary Clinton did, oh, we condemn this violence. Guess what? You can't call the President of the United States for 10 years Adolf Hitler. And you can't say that he's a fascist dictator. And you can't say that anyone who voted for Trump or advocated for him, like you, me, Riley, and Charlie Kirk, are Nazis. And then when someone tries to kill us, you can't suddenly say, oh, we condemn this violence. You caused it. Look at me right now. You caused this. When you tell people that someone is Hitler, you are telling crazy people, go kill them. And I am sick of pretending that that is anything other than what they're doing. That guy in West Palm Beach, what did he say? He was killing Trump because he believed Trump was Hitler. This is what they do, all right? This left-wing violence, it's out of control. And Charlie Kirk bore the brunt of that left-wing violence. And guess what? But for the twist of his head at the last minute, Donald Trump's head would have been blown off on live television. And that is intentional. They are lighting fires and then claiming, oh, what do you know? There's a fire there. They're doing it on purpose. MSNBC, Sean, you watch this. They were live on the air saying, one of their guys said, They put out a PR statement. He said, well, Charlie Kirk was riddled basically with hate. And when you put hate out into the world, this kind of thing happens. Oh, tough break. You get shot and killed even though you're completely innocent and all you're doing is making arguments for the betterment of the country. Tough break for your young daughter. Tough break for your son, for your lovely wife that will never get the opportunity to see you grow old with them. I am so angry. And I understand everybody out there says, well, we have to tamp down the anger. I'm not willing to do that right now because I get angrier the more I think about this, Sean. They put the wheels of motion for this in order. They did it, Sean.
Yeah. And he's talking about not only the politicians, but the media. You cannot hate the mainstream media enough. Dan Bongino used to preach that. Yeah. He said, because they will always find a way to crank it up again. This is what they do. There is blood on their hands as much as the shooter, because this is the type of stuff that they bathe themselves in. The Jen Psaki's, the CNNs, the MSNBCs of the world, they bathe themselves in this leftist violence because this is what they want. They know they've lost. Like we've talked about, Charlie Kirk was winning on their battlefield. They were getting blown out of the game on their field at home. He was going into their stadium and winning constantly. And they didn't like that. And, you hear the phrase, we may have just woken up a sleeping tiger. You have. The left has done that. Yeah. I feel that, feel that deeply.
There's a couple of examples of that go sort of beyond, what you're talking about, which is spot on. When you cannot successfully debate the facts, you silence the voice, right? That's pretty much how things work. Yeah. And we talk about the rhetoric that they're using, but they're using other means. Our network suffers from this, and other conservative voices suffer from this, and that is all the boycotts. The blacklisting of advertising, the boycotts. Look at what happened to Elon Musk when he starts being effective and exposing them. They could not articulate and discuss this. They had to silence the voice. So what they do? They got the advertisers to boycott his platforms. Fortunately, he was rich enough he didn't have to worry about that. But we work for a network where our voices have been attempted to be silenced because they've tried to boycott advertisers. Same thing with our competitors that are out there, Fox, Newsmax, etc. Same thing. It all sort of fits around this one giant narrative. And the Biden administration had their hands all over these types of things in every aspect, silencing the voices however they can. And now, when you can't silence them through these means, what's next? Violence.
Yeah.
And, the death of a Charlie Kirk. And that's exactly where they're going with this. But they're using every tool they have in the toolbox, right? And people need to be aware of that. Yeah.
And the media is right there with them, holding their hand, ushering this all along.
That's right.
Damon mentions this a lot. Whenever they slam President Trump and call him a Nazi, it's their attempt to dehumanize him. And somebody pointed this out today, and this is cut too. This is Whoopi Goldberg, what she said back well over a year ago, when President Trump at the RNC, when he was accepting his nomination for the presidency in 2024. Here's what she said, and listen to the words she uses, because it's exactly what Damon was talking about. Cut 2.
For me, I have a lot of faith in the American people. And I don't know very many men who want to be talked to the way that this man has been talking to men in his audience. I don't know any women, and I know his grandchild was up on the thing, and they're trying to humanize him and change your idea about who this guy is. Don't fall for that.
Trump, you're talking about. Yeah. Talking about Trump.
Look at the anger from Predator there, because she doesn't like the fact that people are finding out this guy's a grandfather. He has a lovely family. He has a granddaughter who is speaking glowingly about him.
Don't humanize
him. That's what she said.
It's sick.
It's sickening, but that's the left, and that's the media, and you can't hate them enough.
No.
I'm listening. I'm trying to see if this FBI thing is going on, and I'm trying to find. I saw a clip because as you guys are talking about this, I saw a clip that I had never seen before that it was just, I actually couldn't believe it was real, but it was. It was a New York Times, shockingly, a New York Times host with another, and here it is. Thankfully, I can find it quickly. Okay, sorry. How much time? We don't even have enough time. Just listen to just a little bit of this.
Move on.
Well, there's one other thing.
I mean,
one other thing.
Porter is a writer for the New York Times.
I have taken a great deal of heat for saying, or implying, that I wish somebody would kill Donald Trump. And that is exactly what I was implying. It was irresponsible.
That is what you were implying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said it. And it was irresponsible of me to say that in a public space. I really shouldn't have said it here. Now, I already did. And so, I have to own it. I did say it. Somebody has asked, do you say that in private? And yes, I have said it often. And I have only halfway been kidding. And I'm going to say it again. Yes. And it is a smaller side of me. I should not wish for another person to suffer, even if it's.
Yeah. Can't hate him enough.
The masses listen to this crap.
You ever hear anything like that? It's a smaller side of me. It's just a small part of me that wants the guy to be dead. Wants someone to shoot him.
And the comments we hear about Charlie. Yeah. But the comments we hear about Charlie, people celebrating his death. Can you imagine if that was President Trump and the people that celebrated even the assassin's attempt on him, wishing he had hit him? I mean, that's what we're in for. Hopefully Trump's upped his protection. Because I think there's going to be more crazies out there.
Those of you asking where the update is, we've got it. It's just you can put it up, Aaron, so they can see. It's still
hasn't started yet.
Still the three working on it.
Harry went to get an HDMI cable.
Working on the audio visual still in the back corner. So I don't think this is happening within the time we're on the air.
Yeah, Harry ran out.
Harry ran out to Best Buy.
He ran out to the local Radio Shack to try and get a
HDMI cable.
Yeah. Do I see a VCR there blinking at 12? I believe I do.
It's 4 o'clock. Hang on. Please reset.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Oh, wait.
The Geek Squad. The Geek Squad is.
Yeah. Wow, man.
What's going on there?
Anything else, people?
Does the red one go in this one? Where's the yellow one go? Hang on a second.
They got nothing over here.
I got a white one, a yellow one, and a red one. Which one? Who got what?
No, you're saying the yellow one is the video and the red and white are audio?
But look at the lighting is horrible.
I've been through that, man. I totally understand that. What are these color coded? And the other side is not color coded. I don't understand.
Now, Harry, what's the duct tape for?
There's always duct tape, That's a go-to for no matter what the problem is.
If you asked him that, he'd say to keep the cables from falling out.
Looks like Gordon Liddy's trying to work on that, fixing that thing. Must be the ball bearings.
My camera battery?
Ball bearings.
Oh.
Come on,
Nice.
It's all ball bearings.
It's all ball
That's
bearings
good.
these days.
Looks good, though.
Come on.
We need a give, send, go for the studio.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep this up, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, that ain't happening anytime soon.
It ain't happening anytime
That might be
soon.
9:30 West Coast.
Yeah. All right, 13 to the hour live from Studio 6B. on a Thursday night, September 11th, 2025. Vinnie Mac is here, Rick Delgado, Slick Rick, Aaron and Fran holding it down as always, and of course you, the beloved live from Studio 6B audience. I want to try to grab some of the sentiment I've seen in the chat, if I can find some of it. Because like I said, what I really wanted to do when I was thinking about doing the show tonight was just, I wish we could have just talked to the audience all night and taken some calls. But the chat's the next best thing. Danielle on Facebook says, I still can't stop crying. Sharing Charlie clips with my husband. We have small children also. I'm in a denial space right now because I don't want to accept this. And I think a lot of people are in the same place. It has been hard to process. You're watching all of this unfold, and you're still going, no, wait a minute, wait, the guy who was on this network every day. Oh, that guy that been in the studio. Guy who's we've been covering his events. Guy who's best friends with half the people on the network. That guy. Gone.
You know what I think also is very hard for people is that, realizing he was only 31, if you started watching his clips back when on social media last 7-8 years, he's kind of grown up in front of you, right? You kind of have that connection of watching this guy grow up and, become elevated in his stature, kind of from this, this kid to now this young man who became this dynamo. Really?
Yeah. They got to know him. They feel like they know him.
Right.
It's
because there's so
it's
much
the Truman
of him
Show
out
in a way. Yeah.
There's so much of him out there that it's you do kind of feel like, hey, it's almost like if you'd walk up to if you came across him, you'd almost feel like you already knew him if you met him for the first time.
Yep. Exactly.
Put on a suit says, may the Lord bless and keep you. May he make his countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he grant you his peace. Amen. One of the other things I wanted to bring up and see what you guys thought while we're waiting for this, see if this press conference will happen at all in this hour before we get off. Mike Cernovich, I don't know how many of you guys follow him or know who he is, says he blames congressional Republicans for a lot of this because of their weak and ineffectiveness since they've taken control. And he said, when you look back on January 6th, in what a party and a government in control who knows how to use their power to put down their opposition when they want to, you can see how effective they can be from a Department of Justice, FBI point of view. And here are the Republicans, Steve Scalise, they tried to kill, and others, and now this, and he says he blames the weakness and the ineffectiveness of the whole Republican Party for some of this as well. What do you think about that, Vin?
I mean, I can't help but think that's extremely true. We have talked about this many, many times on this show. By the way, we've been talking about this since the day we started the show, that we just cannot seem to get two things from the Republican Party. One, why do they fight each other? We talked about this the other night. Why do they fight each other? They have to unify. And two, look at how the Democrats do their biz. I mean, when there's a talking point, they're all on the talking point.
Right,
they
Vin,
never stray.
We got to. Okay. I see Kash Patel is at the podium here.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. This evening we have FBI Director Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor, we'll kick it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now, show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was chromed out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see that the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that.
Wow, this is sick.
That's crazy.
It's important to note his black T-shirt,
good jump,
black
too,
pants.
yeah.
And
I think he had a little
there
struggle
appears to be
there,
some white
right
on the
there.
soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive T-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grass area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills? So here's the still photographs I mentioned. These have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the T-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. If you go to the next picture, please.
Maybe somebody said something.
The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again the T-shirt, blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out. We'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward. Thank you, and I'll turn the time back over to Governor Cox.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mason. I want to thank Director Patel and his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here. We have all of our local chiefs of police that are here as well, all working hand in hand with the state and with the FBI as we move forward with this investigation. Now, I'll just give you a little warning. We will not be taking any questions at this time. We're giving you the latest information we have, being as transparent with everything that we have. But I do want to share a couple things that I think are important. We cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. I would just note that the FBI hasn't received this many digital media tips from the public since the Boston Marathon bombing. This case also highlights the dedication of our law enforcement community. We have 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners that are working shoulder to shoulder to find the person who committed this horrific crime. With their support, we've completed nearly 200 interviews. As you're aware, as has already been reported, the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips. We are processing. We have an incredible team, a state and federal team working together to process those tips. We're going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects, but we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public, should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or at tips.fbi.gov. This is, I would just say, this is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I will just add as well that, as was mentioned, there is a lot of forensic evidence that is being processed right now at both the state lab and the federal labs, federal lab on the East Coast. So we are working in tandem together. I would also just add a word of note for those people who are spending so much time on social media. I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well. What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and spend a little more time with our families. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. More than anything, we are going to catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. Again, to the public, to those who are grieving, thank you for your prayers. I know we are feeling those prayers. I know the Kirk family is feeling those prayers as well. We pray that God will bless our nation at this very dark time. We can start healing by finding this perpetrator and holding him accountable, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
Wow. Cash is just walking on. Okay, I have many questions about that. Many questions about what we just saw. I was asking Delgado off the air because I didn't want to talk over the stream. Do we think that they're really this far behind this kid, or you think this is just to give this kid a sense of comfort and they're about to close the door on this? Because that in one respect sounds like they are really behind finding him. We need the public to do our next part of our job.
Right, 7,000 tips.
What? Like, how can they be this far behind this kid?
They said they've gotten 7,000 tips.
Yeah.
A lot of that is digital. Like he said, digital media. People have Ring cameras. People, inadvertently, you might have recorded this guy. If you have it, send it in, basically is what he's asking. Because you saw that with some of the people who were just videotaping the crowd when they heard the shot. You see it afterwards where somebody picks up, oh, look in the corner of this video shot, there's a guy running on the roof. That's where they establish, okay, here he is. Now we go backwards from there, or now we go forward from there. So now they can track his whereabouts, kind of like the Mangione kid that shot the CEO of United Healthcare.
So you think that was totally normal?
I'm amazed.
Yeah, possibly fairly normal. I think they've got more on this guy than they want to let on. Like you said, give him a little comfort. Let him feel like maybe he's in the clear for now.
Why is Kash Patel there?
Yeah, well, he didn't make any statement.
No statements, no questions.
Man, I'm confused.
And basically, the governor of the state makes it sound like, hey, we've gotten some more stuff, but we're nowhere near catching this guy, and we need you guys to step up for us to do the next part of our job. That seems like this has to be some kind of misdirection play to make this, if this kid's watching, make him think he's safe, and maybe they're a lot closer than we think. Obviously, they're not going to tell us everything. I get that. But I don't know. Vin, what'd you make of that?
Well, at first, when all this happened, I was very concerned that here was a sniper on a roof that got away and that had an escape plan. And how are they going to catch this guy? Like, I was very concerned about that. And there, lo and behold, a day later, we have video of this guy. We see his face. We know what he looks like. There's a lot of stuff floating on social media where they might actually have a name of this guy right now. So we have a lot of information, including how when he started running away and what direction he went, and he dropped the gun. That's how they found it. So I kind of agree with both of you guys on one side that they're probably not saying everything they know, because they know a lot. I believe they know who he is. I believe they've got so many images of him and the track he took. They're probably, one, trying to make him feel comfortable, and two, he's hiding out somewhere, either with someone or not with someone. If he's with someone, they're watching this, and I think it's just another one of those things where maybe they're closing in, but they're not positive yet. But I'm actually very, very encouraged in many ways, because when this happened, man, I felt like, wow, like, there's nothing here. The guy was on the roof. They didn't have really any indication of who he was, what he was. He escaped, and everyone was thinking it was this professional hitman who had an escape plan. They got a lot on this guy. It's just a matter of time when they smoke him out. Just like those two coyotes in the Boston bomber thing. It took them a while to smoke him out, and they found him hiding in a shed somewhere, right? In a boat. It just took
Well, they found
in a boat.
hiding in the boat, right?
Yeah.
So it took that, and it took the public to help them get to that point, but they kind of knew where they are. And I think they kind of know where he is. They just don't know exactly. He's hiding somewhere.
Right. Yeah, you know what? And you make a great point about the Boston bombers. Those two, the Tsarnaev brothers or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. They were confronted by the police. One of them was shot and run over by the police. And the other one escaped, and it took a day of, and it was a guy who, noticed that the flap on his boat that was winterized was open.
Right.
With a ladder nearby.
What's interesting about the drop is he had that rifle stuffed in his pants for that drop from the roof. That was a pretty far drop.
Yeah, it was.
And the footage we saw of him supposedly going before, you could see a very obvious, what looked like a limp, but I think it was more of a trying to keep it straight. It's going down the side of your leg and up your shirt, or however long it is. But how do you drop? I don't know. Where was the rifle? Obviously, they're saying was still on him, because they're saying he put it in the woods later after he crossed the street. They just said.
Well, it could be that he could have broken down the rifle and threw it in his backpack. Because they said they found it wrapped up in the woods.
In a towel.
Yeah. So if it's wrapped up in a towel, it may be one of those, you kind of disassemble, make it a little shorter, put it in a backpack for concealing purposes.
Looked like to me he was carrying it. Really? Didn't look like to me like he was carrying it. And I mean, it's hard. It's as clear as that video is that they got him running off. That's pretty clear. Off the roof, down the side, boom. I mean, they've got him. But I don't know. I don't know where the weapon is.
The only thing clear to me was that limp. That was clear.
Yeah, and again, they're just going to use video from every place along that route to track him where he went, and they'll, like you said, they might have him pretty well cornered in an area of where they think he is, and that's why Patel is in town now, because they're about to swoop in.
Well, that's
and
what I'm saying. He's not there to do that. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, they've done all of the work for him. He's going to go to the site and walk around. Okay, the cameras are going to watch him. That's all well, fine and good. But He goes to this presser. He doesn't even say anything, and they take no questions, and they basically say, without you guys continuing to do your job, we can't. I think he actually said, for us to do the next part of our job, we need you, meaning the public. Didn't he say that, the governor?
I don't know if I heard that specifically.
I thought that's what he said, but
he might have.
That seems to me like a big misdirection. Like, let's let them think we're not as close as we are. I don't know.
Yeah, quite possible. And with today's technology, here's one thing I can feel pretty certain of. They saw his face. They know his face. The facial recognition technology is going to match that against YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, every social media platform out there. They're going to figure out who he is, his name, and they're going to start going to relatives and people, and they're going to pull this together. And I think they're just, going to smoke him out that way.
I don't know if it was Megyn Kelly's show, but I heard somebody say that the running of the face has come up empty, that he's not on the grid whatsoever at all. Which again kind of goes back to is this the foreign connection that John talked about last night,
or is this a professional connection? Where
I don't remember where I heard that. Don't quote me on that, but I did hear it today, and I think it was from someone. I don't know if it was Mark. Maybe it was Mark Halperin. Could have swore someone said the facial recognition so far has come up blank, like this guy's not on the grid at all.
Kind of like a ghost.
Wow.
So I don't. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. So there's your very quick update. Yeah. Doesn't sound like they're going to do another one tonight.
Took longer.
We're going to wake up tomorrow with some news.
I am not going to. I would be. I don't know. Doesn't really matter what I think, but in some respects, I'm going to be surprised if we get on the air tomorrow night and this guy's not caught. I just have that whole thing gave me the feeling of we are at the doorstep, but we're going to make this guy think he's comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just the way it made me feel, because I can't believe they're this far behind them.
Especially when you have the FBI director and deputy director fly in and not say anything.
No way.
Not a word.
And then he just follows them out, and it's almost like they're like, "All right, we're going.
We're on the move."
Yeah, we're on the move.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like.
All right, Aaron, what are we doing? We're just going to return everybody to regular programming now? All right, thanks for hanging. We did a little over, but we wanted to stay with that to the end, obviously. I want to thank all the guys. Obviously, it's been a tough week. Our thoughts and prayers are obviously with the Kirk family, his wife, those two kids today. Unexplainable what they're going through. But yeah, we want to thank you, the Live from Studio 6B audience, most of all. We'll be back tomorrow night in studio, 8 o'clock. We'll see what the update is then. We'll wrap up the week right here, live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.
The Lord's work from carrying out his mission. So we're just going to take it day by day. But I will say that it is pretty heavy here, despite how certain people felt about him. The mood is heavy. This is a significant icon in our political world.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's shocking. I guess I'll open up last to you, and don't feel the need to talk more than you want to, but just any thoughts, any final thoughts that you didn't touch on, didn't get to, that you'd like to get out there?
I just think it's baffling that this was just a man who just wanted to have honest conversations with people, and they still went after him. And they don't go after people who lie, they go after people who tell the truth. And Charlie was always made sure that he would always tell the truth, speak the truth, and educate people. And I think that it's our job as a whole, even as a nation, is to keep doing that. We need to keep speaking the truth. And if you are afraid of speaking up about what's right, you shouldn't be afraid anymore. I think we need more voices more now than ever.
Yeah, I said in an interview earlier, fear will not be a factor in the conservative movement going forward, which is, I think, exactly what Charlie would have wanted. Monica Page, Turning Point's White House correspondent, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for asking those questions to the president and getting his replies. Really appreciate all that you do.
Thanks, Joe Bob, and God bless you guys.
Thank you.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-854-0295.
Welcome back to Turning Point tonight. We are continuing to remember Charlie Kirk. Don't need to reiterate who's passed away yesterday, but it's an awful tragedy, and it continues to hurt. We'd love to hear any of your well wishes or your